the only thing you are in control of, the only thing that you are in control of, is this moment, right here, in the present tense. And you can't allow yourself to be owned by someone and get them taken away from that right which is yours to live in the present. Hey, g'day, how are ya? This is a morning walk. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to take a bit of a stroll around the Bungle Bungles, Purnululu, more correctly known to the traditional owners. And I'll tell you what, this has been a part of Australia that has blown me away. You know, you hear a lot about Uluru. I mean, you hear a lot about the Bungle Bungles too, but this place I feel is as special as somewhere like Uluru. Anyway, thanks for joining me. You might think that this is looking particularly hot for a morning walk, and that's true. It's only 10 a.m, but from 7 o'clock here, kind of out in northwest Western Australia, it's hot. So wherever you are, I hope you're nice and cool. Let's go for a walk and have a chat. Well, the last few weeks have been really a heck of an adventure. I think the last time we chatted, we were heading on the Gibb River Road, which is one of the most remote, rugged roads in Australia. And we had a bit of bad luck out there. We had our batteries die on our caravan. They all had to be replaced, but we couldn't basically do the 3-week trip on the Gibb that we were expecting. And so we had to get out of there and drive 500 kilometres in one day on very rough corrugated roads into Purnululu in order to change the batteries. But everything happens for a reason. What that means is that we're going to have more time when it comes to the Northern Territory. We've already been through the Northern Territory, but we get an extra week there, which is fantastic. And it did mean that we were able to bring forward our time here in the Bungle Bungles and our time at Lake Argyle as well. Drop in a little bit of footage of Lake Argyle because that was just the most amazing sunset over the water. Lake Argyle is Australia's largest freshwater lake, 1,000 square kilometres. Yeah, just getting to swim in the water there at sunset was amazing. And to come here, makes you feel human. It's always good to feel human. This whole trip has gotten me thinking about what I'm going to be doing next afterwards. And just a couple of weeks ago, we saw an ad from Airbnb. They're looking for people to essentially travel around the world with the airfares paid by Airbnb and with accommodation paid if you just stay in Airbnbs all around the world in order to work remotely. And I must admit, it was pretty freaking tempting to put in an application because I've worked remote before, so I'm pretty comfortable with it. Obviously comfortable with video and talking to you. So I kind of felt like it was something that would be in my wheelhouse to at least apply for. And then I just had this nagging feeling, you know, something didn't feel right. And it took me a little while to work out what that was. And essentially it's that, I don't know, like you shouldn't allow yourself to be owned by anyone else. And by that, I mean, yeah, like it looks super attractive for Airbnb, you know, Airbnb, oh, I can travel around the world and I'm going to have my airfares paid for and I'm going to have the accommodation paid for. But then they kind of own you, you know, the travel that you have to do, you kind of have to do on their terms. And if they want you to get on a call in order to chat with their team, like you're obliged to do it. And if they want you to do something, you're obliged to do it because they're paying your bills. Having been an entrepreneur now for, I don't know, 15 years, I guess the freedom is everything, because when you have your freedom to choose, everything comes back to you. And if things are tough, the choice is still yours, which direction to head. And if things are good, then the spoils are yours, the rewards are yours. Whereas, you know, winning a competition and then being beholden to a whole set of rules, I don't know, that just doesn't do it for me anymore. I also switched off Instagram and Facebook for the last couple of months of this trip. It's not that I have anything philosophically against those platforms, but with only a couple of months left to go before we get home, I really just want to live every moment out here. And also I do enjoy posting and sharing stories and interacting and what have you on those platforms. I know it still takes you away from the present, and the present is everything. You've got to remember with those with those programs, Facebook, Instagram, anything like that, like you're not the user, you're the product that's being sold. You are the thing, your private data, you know, access to your eyeballs is the product that's being sold to advertisers. And so you're being owned. In some small way, you're being owned. You're not in control of that. And if at some point they decide to change their minds about, you know, what content is allowed or is not allowed, and they can turn you off. So you're not in control of that. The only thing you are in control of, the only thing that you are in control of, is this moment, right here, in the present tense. And you can't allow yourself to be owned by someone and get them taken away from that right which is yours to live in the present. Something I feel very passionately about, very strongly about, is being able to be in control of your own destiny. And all of us need to work, of course, you know, and that's a trade-off. That's a trade of our time in order to receive money in return. That's okay. But we can't allow ourselves to be denied that choice of where we work, for example, to the greatest extent possibility. Of course, that's not true for everybody. Some people don't have the choice. But for those of us that do choose, you know, choose somewhere that aligns with your values. Choose somewhere that gives you what you want or contributes to the world in ways that are important to you. Just don't allow yourself to be owned. Whether it's by Facebook, that own everything, whether it's by a manipulative boyfriend or girlfriend, parent, or by circumstance. Present is what counts. Don't be the product. Be present. And whatever you're getting up to today, I hope it's a good one. Thanks for joining me in the spectacular Bungle Bungles. And I'll see you next time on the morning walk. I'm Rob Malicki. Take care.